two of three things that happen. They're going to say, no, get out of here. Don't ever bother me again. They're going to say, yes, absolutely. Please come in, help me out. Or they're going to say, hey, I would love to get more information, but I just can't do it right now. Let's schedule an appointment. Three outcomes, right? Um, all right, what's happening, everyone? Luis Moyano here, IFG partnership model, and we're going to do a little training tonight. I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, Mr. John Williams, who is being kind enough to play the role of a new agent and is going to be asking me some questions as if he was a brand new agent learning, right? And kind of simulating what everybody else might ask. So this way I can kind of cover all the bases. What's good about it is that John has a great amount of insurance experience, but he doesn't have a lot of experience with this one sector, right, that we're going to touch on. So today we're going to talk a little bit about second chance leads, or B leads. We're going to talk about different ways of being able to map out a route for yourself. We're going to talk a little bit about a route, but our main focus is going to be door knocking and a door knocking script to be able to help you guys get in the doors. All right. So John, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing really well. How's everybody tonight?
Everybody's doing well. It's just you and me right now, but everyone's good, man. I'm good. You're good. Let's this kind of.
And maybe your family's there close by. Hope everybody's doing well.
Everyone's good out here, man. John recently moved to a new part of Florida, so this is going to be nice and exciting for him to get out there and knock on some doors, right? So as you guys know, with life insurance, there's always going to be the theory of your hot market or buying leads, right? Truly, I mean, there's nothing better than hot market and referrals because it's free, but it's such an art form that John has done a great job at mastering for many years, but wants to kind of break into a new segment. So when he's going to help me be able to get more referrals and going to help me be able to grow my practice in that way, I'm going to introduce him to the buying leads. So when it comes to buying leads, there's two ways of thinking about it, right? There's going to be either you have a lot of money and then you can just take all that money and buy brand new leads and get to work, right? And you order fresh leads and you go see them. And there's many different ways of getting that. Get with your upline, ask some questions, reach out to me. We'll show you a lot of different options. There's the second thought is that maybe you don't have as much money to start with and you just want to be able to kind of grow your business and get out there, right? You want to do a couple of things. If this is new to you, you want to be able to practice it. The more people that you sit down with, the more practice you're going to get. It's like literally that simple. Nobody's great at anything when they first do it. If they are, they can always get better. It's like going at bat, right? And throw a fastball at you. More likely than not, you're not going to hit it. So it's going to be the same thing. Get in front of as many people as possible. And John, you can probably attest to this. With insurance, you'll only fail if you quit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's such a beautiful business, man. It really is. So second chance leads, right? That's going to be the B leads. You can find them all over the place as far as pricing. You can get some for 35 cents that might be like 5 years old, 4 years old. You can get some that might be, a year old and may cost you like $3 or $5. But there's going to be a large range. You want to be able to get leads that have two things for you, that you can get the actual sheet that the client filled out so that when you show up, you can print it out and say, hey, Ms. Jones, a little while back, you filled this out. And show them their actual signature, show them the writing, be able to put that right in front of them. And you also want to be able to download like a PDF or an Excel CVS format so that you could kind of have the spreadsheet right in front of you. You could plug and play where you're going to go. And if you use technology, you can plug that into your CRM. So it helps you kind of move around a little bit. So John, we just got you started with some second chance leads. What we're going to talk about is going to be mortgage protection, door knocking. But to be honest with you, this is going to work both ways for mortgage protection or final expense, right? What's important is that you have a lead in front of you. So here's a strategy that I'm going to ask everyone to kind of start with. One, first and foremost, set a budget that you can feel comfortable spending on a weekly basis, right? That's going to dictate whether you're going to get 50 or 100 leads. It's completely up to you. But you honestly want to make sure that although they're older leads, John, and I'm going to preach this to you, although they're older leads, there's so much juice left in them. Like, no joke, right? Just because somebody else went there and maybe didn't do a good job at selling them doesn't mean that they're not sellable. Maybe because somebody else went out there and sold them a product doesn't mean that there isn't better out there. Here's a great thing about leads, right? These leads, John, focus on this one, it's important. These leads get sold to many different agencies. A lot of these agencies are captive agencies. And a lot of the times the captive agencies that are buying these may not have the product availability that you have, right? And at the same time, some of them may not do a great job at really getting good underwriting and finding out much about the actual customer to be able to post the right product in front of them. And what's beautiful about us being brokers is that we have one too many contracts that we can find the best thing for the client. Let me ask you, what do you think is a good thing about what I just said, that you can find the right thing for the client? Like, what do you think that leads to?
I mean, first of all, when you're thinking about the client first, you become the trusted advisor. You're not just a one product peddler looking to have a transactional type of relationship. This is a relationship business, and growing the relationship and earning their trust will not only lead you to a sale, at that time, but then potential referrals for their family, friends, and other additional products down the road. So that's part one. Part two, you also mentioned that the lead may have been sold to captive agents, and that's a really big key point. Captive agents out there include State Farm, Northwestern Mutual, New York Life, Mass Mutual, some of those that people may have heard of. And it is true that in most cases, those agents who represent that company can only sell the products of that company who literally pays their benefits. They provide their family and them employee benefits. So they will have one product. It is typically more expensive than what you'll find by going to the market. And we have a large market, right? We have 5, 10, 15, 20 different carriers to choose from. And that is in the best interest of the client to shop around and do the due diligence to find the best product at the best price.
Right. So you're now that shopper. You're that person who's shopping for them, and you nailed it. 100% nailed it. And there's one more point that I want to add to that. The referral points, you're big on referrals. I got to get better at it. No joke. So if you're watching this video, remember, and Pete Fortner's got a great way that we will touch on, and we'll ask John also to touch on it. But the other thing is that just like you, maybe some other agents that are brokers may be getting out there. So there's nothing better than to build that relationship, develop that trust, but you have now offered that customer that best product for them that you solely believe in, that you did the right thing for them. So it doesn't matter who comes in behind you now, right? Because bottom line, these people are that 1%. We work with that 1% of people that actually fill out leads. I don't know about you guys, but I get things in the mail. I throw them out. I don't fill them out. And if I do, I'm a sucker, because now I'm going to get sold something. And these are the people that we work with. So more likely than not, they're going to go ahead and fill something else out and go ahead and maybe see another agent, right? So if they have the belief that you got the right product for them, whoever comes in behind them is not going to be able to offer them anything better, because you did what's right for the client, and that's how you always win. So second chance leads, we're going to go ahead and start off with buying anywhere between 50 to 100 a week.
One more thing, Reese, real quick. One other point I want to bring up, and I'm sure you're going to talk about this too, is second chance leads. Why second chance leads? Well, when a lot of us have an initial need, whether it be health insurance, life insurance, or You can even put in, requests for movers to contact you if you got to go from place A to point B. You get bombarded immediately with hundreds of calls, hundreds of people reaching out to you, and it almost turns you off. You have a need, but you get turned off so quickly because you get bombarded by the faucet, the fire hose that you turned on with all these people calling you from all the leads that are immediately being sold out there. And people take a step back. They pause. They're like, yes, I need that, but I'm just not going to deal with it now because I got to fend off all these people reaching out to me, calling me, bothering me at all times of the day. And they literally end up waiting a month or two or even a year or more to get what they need, which in this case is life insurance. And it is these second chance leads that are so valuable, partly because of that, because it's the right time and people are not just bugging the crap out of them, because it's not the moment they signed up or selected whatever it was that created the lead, and the sale of that lead to various parties.
Dude, perfect, man. 100%. And I'm sure all of you guys watching this video have been through that. You filled something out and you're getting millions of calls or hundreds of calls, and then you're like overwhelmed by it. But it cools down, and so does the interest cool down. So when you're able to show up in front of them, you're kind of reopening that need. And this is always a need. It's an emotional sale. The moment you can tap into that emotion, the more important, the better it's going to be, and the better job you're going to be able to do. So get yourself 50 to 100 leads, okay? Although you're buying 50 leads, what you're going to do, you're going to upload every single address into either an application called Road Warrior, right? I think you have to pay like $8 a month for like the premium version, but if not, it's free. On the free one, you can put up to 8 addresses with no cost, but you guys are going to want to have more than 8. So more than 8 addresses. So you want to maybe, put in 20, 50, 100, whatever it is. But this is going to allow you to kind of see out of all the leads that you bought, maybe you bought them in a county, and the county might be a pretty big county. So you're not burning and churning and wasting gas and driving all over the place. The counties that I live in, they could easily be an hour from point A to point B, So you plug every single address, you import it into the system, and you kind of see exactly where everything is. You sort it by zip code. You find everything that's near each other. Out of those, you're going to take 20, right? That's like the magic number because you can work 20. And you might not even be able to get to all of them, or you might get to all of them 3 times. Every day it's going to be a little bit different. But you're going to take those 20 and you're going to set up your door knocking route, okay? On your door knocking route, we're going to talk about what things you're going to bring with you, but we're going to get back to that. But let me forget that, John. And so you're going to set up your first 20. If you have 50 leads, you have 30 untouched, okay? And that first day, you're going to go ahead from wherever you're starting, you're going to have your route of 20. You're going to get to the first one. You're going to go ahead and knock the door. There are 2 or 3 things are going to happen, right? Either no one's going to answer. They're going to answer the door. And if they answer the door, 2 of 3 things that happen. They're going to say, no, get out of here. Don't ever bother me again. They're going to say, yes, absolutely. Please come in. Help me out. But they're going to say, hey, I would love to get more information, but I just can't do it right now. Let's schedule an appointment. 3 outcomes, right? It doesn't matter. If you think about it, out of the 3 outcomes, 2 of them are going to lead to you being able to get in the house. So it's a 66% chance that the moment you talk to somebody, you're going to get into that door. So as you talk to people, as you go ahead and get in there, then you cross them out. But then you go on to the next one, you knock if they're not there. The goal is that out of those 20, you're going to get to all the doors, right? Whether it takes you all day long, or if no one's answering, you might just be going 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. It's 6 to 10 houses in 1 hour. So technically you should be able to do all 20 in 2 hours if no one's answered the doors, right? But ideally they do. So as they do, if you can get in the house right away. If they have the opportunity, if both parties, husband and wife, are both home, then just go ahead and get in right there. And we're going to talk about how to get in.
Out of 20 doors, how many do you think is a good amount to be able to be let into Would you say 5 to 7, or is that a high number?
You never know. Honestly, every single day is going to be different. Some days are going to be fantastic. Some days are going to be amazing. And if you can get into 3 houses in one day, that's fantastic. If you can schedule 2 or 3 appointments, that's great. At the end of the day, it's gonna start doing a compounding effect, right? Because then you're gonna go ahead and set up a couple of appointments for the next days and say, hey, no problem. Today's Monday. I can come back Wednesday at 2, 3 o'clock. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to door knock around the appointments that you start setting up. So eventually you want to schedule as many appointments as possible. And we're going to go into the scheduling so that you can go ahead and make sure that there's more of a success rate of them actually being there. Right. So, but if you do get in the spot, it's going to be a 50-50 on you closing them or not. Like, they already let you in the house. They already know what it's about. Right. So now it's up to you to find value to be able to get in there and close the deal. So if you can get into the four houses, that should be at least 2 sales for that day. Do that 5 times for the week. You can get 10 sales out of that. It's just the reality of this, John, is that it's not easy, right? And most people allow for mental blocks to get in the way, right? We all think like, dude, I'm not gonna door knock, like I'm somewhere else in my career. But the reality is that with this business, we can make doctor money. Right? And this is our training. This is the part that's going to help you get that good at it so that now when you have the appointments and you have your appointment scheduler, you can just get out there and now you're closing 60-70% of the people that you sit with because you went through this. So give yourself the opportunity, take your ego, toss it out the door, say, I'm brand new. I don't care how many people curse me out, how many people tell me no, how many people say this isn't for me. It doesn't matter because today might be horrible, but tomorrow is going to be better. The following day is going to get better. And then you don't look at the one day, you look at the week, you look at the month, and you're like, man, I got a bunch of no's, but I just made $8,000 this month. I made $8,000. I'm buying nothing but B leads. I spent $1,200, made $8,000. Sign me up for that, right? It's hard work, but everything that's worth it is going to be hard work, man. So that's the goal, right? So then you're going to go in the morning, knock every door that you possibly can. Then again, that same 20, you're going to circle back around and start all over again and go to them in the early afternoon, right? And then you might get some more people to answer. The ones that answer, either you're going to go in or you're going to schedule an appointment, right? Or you're just going to cross them off. But then by the end of the night, you might only have 8 left. In the middle of the day, you might have 12. You start with 20, 8 people have some type of outcome, then you have less, but you just keep working that 20 route, right? What's left over of the ones that never answer, you take those, you add them to the back of the list of the other 30, and now you have, again, now instead of having 30 leads left, let's say now you have 38. You do the same thing. You take your next 20 and you go the next day, you do it again. Now what's going to happen is that you're going to have some appointments that are going to get in the way of your door knocking. But as long as you keep putting the activity in, you're either going to get in the house, you're going to schedule an appointment, or you're going to go to an appointment. So it's going to become more of a pipeline that eventually, once you're able to raise enough capital to put into buying fresher leads and you can actually schedule the appointments, your door knocking might go down a little bit. But again, it goes back to that time versus money. Okay? So that's the concept behind the door knocking. You want to take those 20 leads. Maybe if you have 100, you have your 20 for every week, but you might not even need that many. Ultimately, you're just going to keep circle them around because you don't stop on that lead until you get a response, right? The one thing about our area, John, we're in a very, seasonal area, right? So some doors might literally not have anyone there just because there's snowbirds and you're here during the winter or whatever the case might be. So just keep that in consideration. You knock the morning, afternoon, dinner, put them at the back of your pile. Eventually, if you can't get them, just go ahead and move on to the next one. Don't keep wasting your energy there. But that's where we're going to go there. So far on that route, any questions?
No, not at all.
Okay. So before I even give you the script that I would use, I want to just hear it like green and fresh. You got 20 seconds. You just knocked on the door. What would you say?
Hi, Luis. How are you? This is John Williams. I I'm here because you filled out this sheet of paper here that said you were interested in getting some information about a state-approved insurance program that could protect your mortgage in case somebody passes away. Do you remember signing up for this?
Yeah, it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe that anybody's come out here to visit with you, and if they have, then there's no record of it. So I'm just here to pass out the information, give this to you, so that we can see what options are available that might be able to fill your need.
Boom, right? So you're so close to spot on. And now all we have to do is just take that natural personal energy that you have. We're going to tweak it just a little bit. Okay. So it's important to kind of not the bait and switch, but capture interest. You want to engage. You want to, what are you talking about? Let me open up my ear. Let me open up my door. Let me go ahead and feel a little more comfortable with you, right? So, and everyone take notes, write this down. Watch this video again. It's all good. John, you're going to have this video, so don't worry about writing it down right now. We're going to get back to it, right? So we knock on the door and be like, hey, John? Yes? Hey, John, my name's Luis. You're probably wondering why I'm knocking on your door, but I'm actually a new underwriter here in the Charlotte County, and my company asked me to stop by. I have a list of a bunch of people that we don't have any updated records on. You filled out this form here. Just kind of wave it. Don't give it to them yet. You filled out this form here, and what this form is requesting is just you're asking for information that if, God forbid, you pass away, your house can be paid off, or if you become disabled, your house can be paid off and be mortgage free. So this may have been a little while back, but did you ever have the opportunity of sitting with an agent and seeing what options are available for you?
No, right? I don't think it ever did happen.
Oh, not a problem. That's actually why they send me out for, one, I gotta notate and make sure that I bring the information back to the company, but also to give you your options and show you what's available. Look, it's 12 o'clock now. I have an appointment at 3. It's not too far away from here. If you have a couple of minutes, I'd be happy to kind of just show you how this works and answer any questions that you may have. Or if it's not a good time, then we can schedule an appointment. I actually like to stop right there and I'll say, hey, if you have a couple minutes, I can go ahead and show you what you have and stop. Because if they say, yeah, but if you give them the second option of saying, or the schedule, they're going to say, oh, well, no, let's just go ahead and schedule something. But I like to get in right there and right then, right? So don't give them that opportunity until they push back. When they push back, you'll say, hey, not a problem. If right now it's not a good time, I know, I just randomly knocked on your door. Let's schedule a time that's best for you. I says here your wife is Deborah. It's Deborah, right? Still your wife? You laugh a little, right? Yeah, Deborah's my wife. Good. It'd be great to have both of you guys. And the whole goal is, I promise you, it's just to help you, right? To see what options would be available. No pressure. If it's not for you, no big deal. But at least I'll be able to answer your questions, show you what's available, and ideally, hopefully, help you protect your family and help you protect them. Cool? Cool. Schedule the appointment. On to the next one. Or getting that house. Let's go into what things they might say, right? If they say something along the lines of, yeah, actually, some guy came out here a while back, but we ended up not doing anything. We couldn't afford it. 3 years later, and be like, hey, that's not a problem. I'm so happy you told me that. So it was more of an affordability thing. Yeah, it was. Did you just buy the house about 3 years ago? Yeah. But like, you have no idea how many people I run into that tell me that. You're probably just dealing with like your first mortgage payment, the light bill. Who knows how many new things were going through your mind that you probably were a little unset on budget. But what's cool about me is that I'm a broker and I take a completely different approach. What we do is we make sure that we find something within your budget because we have so many different options. It's just about how we can make it fit. Let me show you what's available. You have a couple minutes and you're back in the house, right? So one of the biggest thing here, and John, one of the reasons why I think you're going to do great, you have to be quick on your feet. Like you just have to have. And the best way to be quick on your feet is to like practice, right? And like kind of role play with yourself, role play with your girlfriend, role play with anyone, dude, use your dog. But the more that you like think of rebuttals and what to say, the faster you're going to be able to come up with those objections so that you can go ahead and go around them. So did you have the opportunity of having an agent sit down with you? No problem. That's what I'm here. Now, if they say, yes, actually, I signed up for a plan, don't freak out. Don't worry about it. How would you respond to that, John? What would you say?
Well, do you know what you have? What's the coverage amount and how much does it cost you?
Okay, so dude, that's none of your business, right? You can get a couple of different things like that.
I found that a lot of people are covered, but they really don't understand what the policy covers or how much it is. Could we sit down and review your policy, and if I can find you something at a lower cost with better coverage, would you be willing to take a look at it?
Good, man. Yeah, it's something that simple. Here's a little tidbit that I've kind of developed that I like and I use a lot, right? It's like, hey, John, you do have a policy? I'm so happy to hear that because it means that you were able to get your family protected. If I can just quickly tell you what I found out of out of me doing this almost every day, most people that I come and knock at the door and they already have a policy, and I like to track everything, right? When we sit down, 70% of the time, it's a high number, 70% of the time, I'm able to find that something that might be better for their family. It's ultimately the reason why you did is to protect your family. So if I can either save you a couple of bucks or put you in the best policy, fantastic. If I can't, that just means that I'm validating that the policy that you have is the best and there's nothing that we can do to possibly beat it. Why don't we just have a quick look, right? Mind if I do? Boom, you're in. But everybody wants to know, they want the better and the best. If it's been like 3 years, it might be hard, but you can also say, hey, COVID this year has been around. Maybe COVID's not around when you watch this video, but you say something along the lines of, hey, in the last year, there's been a lot of different changes with underwriting rules and pricing that you may really be able to benefit from. Let's take 10 minutes and figure out what you have and figure out what options are available. Do you have the time right now? And you're in. Always ask to get in the door. Always ask, because the moment you don't ask and you assume they can't is the moment you miss the opportunity. So every single time you want to go ahead and ask on how to get into the door. And so that's how I would do it. That's how I would door knock. That's steps that I would tell you to take. And honestly, you don't have to complicate anything any more than that, right? And whether it's final expense or mortgage protection, you're going to be able to find opportunity to protect the family. And everyone's different. So be happy that you have an array of product and companies to offer to be able to help these families out.
Luis, what about an objection? I don't know if we have a policy or not. My wife usually handles all that kind of stuff. She's not here, so I don't know if we have it or not, but she's the one that would know that. So sorry.
Hey, man, same thing in my house. She keeps track of everything. Those are for my wife. I wouldn't know what underwear to put on this morning. But on a good note is that let's get together when she is home. I can't even do it right now. My next appointment's here like in 30 minutes. It's like a 20-minute drive. So normally she's home in the afternoons. Yeah, let me look at my schedule. Any reason you guys wouldn't be home tomorrow around like 5? She really doesn't get home till like 6:30. Well, okay. So what I can mean 6:30. I can make you my last appointment of the day. Like after that, I gotta get home to the kids. But I'll stop by, have your policies available, ask them where they're at. We'll see some options. I can't promise you that we'll do better, but I can promise you that we'll try. And if we do, your wife will be happy, your family will be happy, you'll be happy, and everybody wins. And if we can't, then I get to go home and play with my kids. Cool? Okay. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. So those are the type of things that you want to be quick, man. Just be quick, be favorable. Everything is always cool, no matter what. Everyone's like, yeah, it's not a problem. Of course, I can handle that. Oh, that's what you do? Same thing. Oh, that's what you found? Here's what I found. But the more agreeable, the more on your side, the better they like. People like from people that they like. So people buy from people they like. And so let them get to know you, let them like you a little bit, and just get in the door. But the biggest thing John is going to say, it's going to be keep working at your craft, right? The first couple of door knocks, you're going to leave, you're going to be like, what happened? How did I stumble or trip over my own tongue so much, So practice it, because the more that you practice it, the better it's going to be. And just continue. Just don't stop, right? After a couple of weeks of doing it, you're going to be so good at it that you're going to get into most doors. And then You're going to take that money and you're going to be able to invest it into newer, fresher leads. And what's cool about the newer, fresher leads, you can schedule the appointments, but you also want to make sure that once you don't schedule the appointment, you go and you door knock, because we want to squeeze all the juice out of every lead. I can't say that enough. You want to squeeze the most juice out of every lead. All leads are great. All leads that haven't answered, you haven't dialed them enough. Leads that you haven't been able to get in front of, you haven't dialed them enough. So do that. The opportunity is going to be there, and that's what's going to allow you to just get more sales, which is the goal of this, right?
Yep, absolutely. So what do you bring to your door knock, Luis? That was a question you wanted to.
Good job, man. So be ready, guys. So important for you guys to always be ready as you go there. What I'd recommend, right? If you have 20 leads or 30 leads or whatever it is, get one of those clipboards that you can just kind of bring with you and have them all like piled up. So like you show up and you're telling them like, hey, my office gave me all of these files of people that we went to update, and like you're one of them. So I need to get this information from you, right? And then they see that you literally are busy. Some people like to wear a lanyard, and on the lanyard have their state ID printed out, maybe some business cards, but have that available. Have an iPad or have your paper calendar scheduler, whatever you use. I like to be digital, so I have my iPad with me and I can just open it up, get the app out and put the appointments right in there. But I can also show them how busy I am, and so that's going to be important. Obviously, have pen, and then have your bag with all your materials ready and whatever you're going to need. You're going to need to have your fact finder, right? Because on your fact finder is going to be the steps you're going to follow, and every single appointment is going to be the same. You're going to ask exactly the same questions and go through the motions to be able to uncover and see what their needs are. You uncover needs and you sell to the need. Uncover needs and sell to the need. As long as you keep doing that over and over and over and over and over, success comes your way. So have a bunch of leads, have pen, have your scheduling appointments with you, and if you want to wear a lanyard, also what to wear. You don't want to overdress for this. You definitely don't want to be door knocking in a suit, right? Or if girls, you don't want to be in heels and skirt and things like that. Wear nice shoes, comfortable jeans, a nice polo that you look professional, non-threatening. Don't get out there with like ripped jeans and a tank top. It's not going to be the best look for you. And always big smile on your face when you're approaching that door. Wave, super friendly. Jennifer, hey, how are you? I didn't know my name. What do you want? Jennifer, you filled this out a little while back. And my name's Luis. I'm actually a new underwriter here in the Port Charlotte area. And the company that I work with, they gave me a bunch of files that they just need updating on. Here, have a look. You requested mortgage protection insurance. Most people that fill it out, they just want to make sure, God forbid, they pass or if their spouse passes, that the family's okay and the house can be paid for, or there's an influx of money coming in to be able to kind of, get through those tough times. Did you guys get the opportunity of taking care of this? Did you guys sit down with anyone? Well, you haven't? No. Okay. Is your husband, Steve, home too? He's not right now? Okay, not a problem. Well, usually the best thing for me to do is to just find like a 15, 20-minute window where I can sit down and just ask a couple of questions. This way I don't put my foot in my mouth and offer you something you're not going to be able to qualify for, but I can show you what options are available. I can explain it. I can answer all your questions. And if it makes sense and if it fits the budget, then you do something. If not, then at least, you got a little extra information. You met the guy in your area, and maybe at some point you do need my assistance and you have my contact information. Fair? Yeah. So usually home in the afternoons? Yeah. Well, how's tomorrow? Perfect. See you guys tomorrow. And that's that. Right? Lock down the appointment well. Let them know that, a great way to lock down the appointment is as you're leaving, say it so nicely and just be like, hey, John, one last question. Yeah. Are you good at keeping your appointments? Yeah, so am I. I'll definitely be here. I may be running a little bit behind in case the appointment before yours, gets a little held up, but I will be here. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Great. I'll see you tomorrow. You can't segment it anymore any better than that. But that's it, man. That's door knocking 101. Get a bunch of second chance leads and continuously keep getting more, getting a consistent habit until you've built up your accounts to be able to get new leads. upload them into either Road Warrior. I think MapQuest might even have that option available for you too. Have your door knocking script a little bit practiced and rehearsed. Go over some door knocking rebuttals and options on things to say to be able to get you in the door, and be super friendly, but always ask, hey, you have a couple minutes, can we take care of this now? Right? And try to get in there. John, any other questions that I can answer for you before we wrap this training?
How do you track your leads is one question that I had. So what some of the software or the spreadsheets look like? Because as you mentioned, you may not get them today. You may have to follow up. So what is it that you do to get all of your leads, consolidate them, and then track them?
Awesome. So there's the new way and there's the old school way. The new way, that luckily for you and I, we're both part of the partnership model. We have an amazing CRM, and you're going to take that CVS Excel format and upload it, and you're going to be able to track everyone through there. But because you're a field agent, right, you're going to have that paper in front of you. And even if you didn't have that CRM, I like to make sure that every piece of paper, it's accounted for. And at the same time, I'm cross-referencing with the Excel sheet that I have. So if I already spoke to them, they're a no-go, I'm going to highlight them red, and I'm going to knock them maybe into like a second back page. If I schedule an appointment, I'm going to go ahead and highlight them yellow because I didn't get a chance to close them. And then if I sold them, I'm going to highlight them green so you can kind of keep track and everything. But then that way, I'll have my spreadsheet. And on the spreadsheet, you can even keep track, how many times you've actually door knocked it, when you went. But that's a little system that you'll put in place for yourself on what works best for you. Just keep in mind that you just want to get to them until you talk to somebody.
That sounds great. Thank you.
For sure. Absolutely, man. Well, if you got no more questions, it was a pleasure. It was nice and fairly brief. I think we're maybe like 30 minutes into it. I'm happy to help all of you guys. I'm excited to see John's success. I think he's going to be a beast in this field. And just again, it's all about continuous effort. Activity leads to success. And in this industry, the only people that fail are the people that quit. So let's go. Let's get them. Do good. Be good. Good's going to come back to you. I'm Luis. That's John. Where is it? That's John. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
See you, everybody.